Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. We're back again. Our compadre Brenda is not with us. Just to let everyone know, I'm not going to talk a lot about what is wrong with her because I don't have her permission, but I do know that she probably wouldn't mind everybody knowing that she's in the hospital right now. So she's have some complications and she's in the hospital. According to what she said today when she posted in our private message for all the panel, is that she's hopefully going to get out in the next couple of days and be able to go home. But I will wait. I was going to ask her today if I could mention about it on it, and I forgot. My grandson, matter of fact, I'm not even wearing my Simply Wooden Creations t-shirt tonight. We came home from my grandson's party. Birthday party. He's 7 years old, and I didn't even change a shirt. I'm just gonna go like this. So, but yeah, she's in the hospital and she's not doing good. Hopefully, what the doctor told her, they can treat her from home once they get this resolved, and she will be getting out in the next 2 to 3 days. So I can say that. But yeah, if you are the praying kind and know the Father, wouldn't hurt to say a little prayer for her. Trust me, she can use it. All right, there got a lot of people out there in the chat already. Leonard Davis is out there. James Parker, Aussie man always. Russ Meadows is out there in the chat.
Russ.
Yeah, Chris Nealand.
Chris.
Well, all those people are out there in the chat already. Rick St. Louis. All those are out there in the chat. Thank you so very much for being out there, and I appreciate it. Before we go any further, if you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel. I sure would appreciate it. And also, I like thumbs up, so you can give me a thumbs up, especially on this show. And if you hit the little bell up in there in the corner, it will notify you anytime that I have a new video or a live stream comes out. So don't forget for that. And then let me talk about my wonderful sponsors, Devol Technologies for web design, development, hosting. Visit devol.com. FastCap, innovative products for the professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking. Create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company, your best choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. Clean Sword, the sanding specialist, woodworkingshop.com. And Seiko, the scroll saw specialist, Seiko.com. And they're all right back here on this little TV that rolls around every once in a while, along with some of my projects.
And Chris is not here to take time.
Yeah, Chris is. I'm really mad at him. He decided to go to the beach this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
So he's hanging out at the beach this weekend and listening to music. He's at like a music.
Who would do that?
And
partying hard.
Yeah. Clearwater, St. Pete. So he's over there listening to beach music, and he's got his, what is it? I got my toes in the water and my butt in the sand and a cold beer in my hand or something like that. Yeah, that's like what he's doing. Yeah, that's what he's doing this weekend. So, but yeah, Chris is not here. He's not sick. He's just having a good time. So
he's enjoying the good life.
Yes, he is. So, Jim, tell us where we can find you.
Oh, God, I'm first tonight. You scared me.
Yep.
Jim from Driveway Workshop. And you can find me on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else you want to go. I guess.
Wherever else you want to go. Okay. Paul.
Paul Corliss from Paul's Messy Workshop. You can find me on YouTube and on Instagram. Find me here on Saturday night. And the rest of the time, it's just hard to tell. That's it.
Okay.
I'm done.
Al.
Paul's like super chicken. He's everywhere. The
sky is falling.
Kilroy79763. You can find me anywhere. It's Kilroy79763. I stream. I've been doing models lately on Twitch and have a YouTube channel of actually that name right there. But you can still find it. Kilroy79763.
Donald.
You're muted.
I'm Donald from Donald Vlogifies Woodshop. That's my YouTube channel. You can find my links to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram there. And I've got a website, redneckknowhow.com.
Great. Dixon.
Hi, I'm Dixon Hoffman. You can find me at Hoffman Signs and Decals 3dprinting.com.
Great. We already hit over 100 messages in the chat out there. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't take long. People just chatting away out there, boy. They're just like.
and this one's for. Can you see it? Yeah, I guess for
Brenda
G.
Brenda G's. Go check her out. She's normally a panel member. She tried to get on, but the Wi-Fi in hospital.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi at the hospital sucked, so she wasn't able to be on here. But yeah, she tried to get on. So, but bless her heart, you know, I've told her this, and I've told the panel this. If it wasn't for bad luck, that woman wouldn't have any luck at all. I'm like,
I hear she's got a lot more content for her channel, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Something about has to do with the nurses in the hospital. I think we're gonna hear a lot more out of that before it's all over with. So
those life experiences.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a combination of that and why I need bail money and
why I need bail money. She needs bail money. She's going to kick the nurse's butt. We're going to have to bail her out of the hospital. So, yeah. All right. So we have Matt from Old Bay Signs. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good.
Really good. Actually,
capable of audio playback connected.
Welcome, Matt. Welcome.
That was my watch. What is it talking about here? I didn't ask you for anything. Yeah, it's like my watch just all of a sudden decided to talk to me. But anyway, so I believe it was Leonard Davis that introduced us to talk to you about coming on the show. So
yeah, I heard you mention he was on the chat. Thank you, Leonard, for hooking me up with Russ and getting me on the show, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and I'm hoping you're out there, Leonard. And I would also like to say thank you for bringing Matt and his channel to my he's out there, Lynn's Handcrafted Wood Signs. But thank you for bringing that to my attention. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Matt Bay. I am Old Man Bay. That's what everybody calls me now. Nobody calls me Matt anymore. It's Old Man Bay. I have Old Man Bay Signs. I am in St. Louis, Missouri, and I make custom hand-routed wood signs, custom hand-routed whiskey barrel signs.
Whiskey barrel.
With the whiskey inside or on the side?
A question, because I hadn't I watched some of your videos but hadn't had a chance to watch all of them. But now these barrels that you get, are they decommissioned barrels?
They are. So anybody bourbon drinkers, in order to be a bourbon, you can only use a barrel one time.
I used to be.
A bourbon, to be a bourbon, it has to be a brand new oak barrel, and it can only be used once.
Okay, I did not know that.
Why is that? Why only once?
Because the law says so.
Oh, really? Okay.
It really does, yes. To be
no. Yeah.
If it's used more than once, then it's whiskey. If it's and then actually right now the tariff just got lifted, so now a lot of the barrels are going over to the UK, going to Scotland, and they get repurposed for Scotch.
Oh, cool.
Actually, it's making the price of barrels go up. So,
so in other words,
like beers.
They want a virgin barrel to make a bourbon out of, basically a virgin barrel. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Did not know that.
So,
because I know that some of the whiskeys, they use the barrels over and over and over again. They, like Jack Daniels, for instance, I do know that they use those barrels over.
Yeah. And they also have their own cooperage as well.
Right. Yeah. Cool. And so you get the barrels and decommissioned barrels and use them to make your signs out of. That's pretty good. Is it a pretty good stockpile of? I mean, are they readily available, or you have problem finding them?
I do have a pretty good stockpile of them, but I also have a broker. There are barrel brokers, and that I can get some from.
Oh, okay, cool.
But when they buy them, they buy like 200, 250 at a tractor trailer load at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now these barrels have had bourbon in or had liquor in them. So can you smell it?
Oh boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If it's a freshly dumped, actually throughout the process you smell it. But if it's a fresh dump, when I tear the barrel down, it's definitely the last one I got. It must have been dumped the day before because I'm pretty sure it's still got some bourbon out of it. But when I'm carving my signs, I do. Do you guys ever do like a water pop?
Yeah.
On the oak, after you get it sanded down, hit it with some water, and it raises the grain. And then you sand it down and get it real nice and smooth. When I take a wet rag and I put that water pop on there, it smells like bourbon. And you can when I'm carving the wood, sometimes you can see where the bourbon. It's called maturation, right? If you look on the side of a barrel, it'll have a red line on the side of the stave. That's called the red line. That's how far the bourbon has been pushed into the barrel, and in the winter it comes out and it moves back and forth, and that's how you get your flavors and your colors for bourbon.
Yeah, that's cool. Pretty cool.
Do they burn or charcoal the inside of barrels for something too? I thought I seen years ago.
Yeah, and that's another rule too. It has to be a charred oak barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's distilleries that are playing with different finishing, using staves to where they can get different flavor profiles where they'll just set them in it. Sure. And then another big thing right now is a toasted barrel. So they don't char them; they just toast the inside of the barrel. They won't have the char on them. I haven't gotten any of those. That would be real nice, easier to clean up.
You were saying earlier that most of your signs are 11 by 23, 11 by 24, something like that.
Yes, you make? No, that's the image area. So my signs are typically they range between 11 and 12 inches wide, and it just depends on how many staves where you fall. It'll never fall the same. But it's usually around 11 to 12 inches wide, and then a full barrel height is 35 inches.
Okay. And then you make your sign in that area, so to speak.
Correct. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just amazed, and what just blows me away the fact that you are able to do that hand routed. We were talking earlier. There is absolutely no way that I could ever come close to hand. I've tried hand routing some stuff before, and it looked like crap too. So, how long did it take you to learn, to hold the router and do that?
You won't believe me.
It took
2 years, not even a year. Not even a year. I just grabbed it and went. I did it, and it worked.
But you see now that is talent, so to speak. You have that niche, that talent for that kind of thing. Some people can sew, some people can paint, some people can do that. You have that talent of hand routing, so that's pretty doggone. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's it's I don't know. It's just like a tattoo artist, right? They're on your skin. That's art.
Yeah.
I'm basically tattooing wood barrels.
Yeah. Only you're using a router instead of a needle, man. That'd be good. Anyway.
But if you learned,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, have you learned over the years to do like a certain technique with it, where you keep like the palms of your hands on the stock, and then you're just kind of wiggling the router around with your fingers? And
absolutely.
How did that come around?
Just doing it, right?
Just doing it over and over.
Yeah, just doing it, and to get a real good straight line, putting your finger on an edge, and you guys do that in your shops.
Yeah,
I'm
like
sure.
with the scroll
Follow
saw.
the edge, get your straight line with your fingers, or
Yep.
Right.
Some way to guide it.
get
Yep.
your hand
Yeah,
out. You hold one side, and if you got a curvature and you curve the plate, the base, you know, you're not moving around. You curve with it. You know what I mean? It's just little things like that.
Yeah, your body. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
get
then,
to
and
go
then
it
also
with it.
noticing and knowing the wood, right, of those barrels. They're white oak, and obviously it's a hardwood, but they still have a lot of chip. Not nearly as bad as most woods, but like I was saying earlier, you learn. You can see when the wood starts tearing. If you're going this way, and the wood starts tearing, well, you stop and you go the other way. You know, it's just I guess practice.
Yeah. It takes a lot of practice, you know, that, like you said, you can somewhat, I built houses. And so I got good enough to where if I needed a quarter of an eighth of an inch off of an end of a board, I didn't even have to use a tape measure.
Right.
I knew exactly where to put my fingers and run the pencil down, be able to take that amount off. So yeah, I understand that, but still, holding that router and even following, and I've tried it before, even following a pattern, so to speak. That router to me seems to have a mind of its damn own. Don't want to go where I want it to go.
I was actually on the news, and we'll talk about that later, I guess, when we talk about the competition. But a local news channel came to my shop day before yesterday, and I told them guys, I'm like, because when I'm carving, I'm constantly moving. I'm moving the piece. I'm moving. And when I got that palm router in my hand, I mean, I'm everywhere with that thing. And I told them guys, you guys need to step back, man, because I'm moving. And I don't turn it off. It's running. I just do what I got to do.
Yeah,
Do you do a step down in your thicknesses, like start at a certain depth?
Yeah, and that's actually a lot of fun. And it's complicated. But to do like a 3-dimensional step downs, that makes for a fun one.
Well, that's cool. I was actually talking about to get down to your final depth.
Oh, no.
Start out, or you just hog it all out at once.
I just hog it out. And I'm only going, I mean, typically I'm never going more than a quarter of an inch.
Yeah, I was going to say it's all pretty thin.
But
now, what
you're
kind
right.
of
The other thing is cool when you do that.
Now, like but what I will do is, like, if it's a real thin line, instead of changing the depth on my router, I just lift the router up some. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm basically drawing with my router.
Wow.
So if I need to go a little bit higher, I'll just lift the routers up a little bit to do that instead of changing the depths.
So when you draw with it, do you normally do like I don't know, like Bob Ross would do trees and stuff and have happy little trees here and there, or what type of scenes? What do you do, or is that something the customer asks for?
Anything they want.
Cool.
And I guess I should go back. So when I started, can I talk to you guys about how I got started?
Yeah, please.
Let's go backwards. So I was a firefighter for 25 plus years. I started when I was 16 years old.
Look at that. This guy's one too. Sorry.
And so anyway, so I was a fireman for 25 plus years, and in November of 2018, I had a major breakdown and got diagnosed with PTSD, and ultimately had to resign from my position as a fireman. It was a really dark, terrible place, and I found therapy in carving signs. My wife was just trying to get me out of the couch, trying to get me to do something. Yeah. And she came home and she said she wanted a sign made, and I started with a scroll saw. So I made a sign up for her, and then, of course, then friends and family started asking for signs, and I was doing signs for them. And then I got did one with a Dremel tool, running through those bits, and they're expensive. I just scratched my ear on the thing. Dummy. Anyway, started using a Dremel, and that didn't go very well. I mean, it did fine. It just, the bits were so small and they burned up so fast. That's when I got into a router, and then I started making, just little the welcome home signs and stuff like that. And then I got into memorials and sports teams and wedding gifts and stuff like that. And so then a friend of ours, she asked if I could do a whiskey quote by Mark Twain. And I said, that would be really cool if we could put it on a barrel. And she's like, can you do it? I said, I don't know. So I went and got a barrel, tore it down, glued it up, and I made it, and it came out really cool. And so that's pretty much all I do now is whiskey barrels. But I still do other signs as well. It's just my main focus is in the whiskey barrel business. And I've been really blessed. I like bourbon, and the bourbon community is kind of like the woodshop community, right? You guys are all tight knit. And the bourbon community is kind of the same way. And they just accepted me in. And I've done a lot of work for a lot of the major distilleries that you guys would all know. And some of the who's who, some of the most famous people in the bourbon industry. So it's been a pretty wild ride since 2018.
Yeah, you're kind of like me. I started out when I was 15 as a junior firefighter, and got hired when I was 18, right out of high school, and spent 30 years working for the fire department. So
yeah.
Now I was a paid professional. I did it for Polk County Fire Rescue for 30 years. So
I was also paid. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I started out as a volunteer, like you did. We as a junior.
Yeah.
And be honest with you, when I first started my career, I don't want to get too involved in this, but all of our fire departments were volunteers, and what the county paid firefighters did was we worked 8 to 5 days a week while the volunteers were working at their jobs just to take up the slack for them. That's all, basically how it all got started.
Right. When I got on, it was I lived in a very rural community, and it was all paid, or I'm sorry, excuse me, it was all volunteer. And I started out there, and then I moved to the city, if you will, St. Louis, and I volunteered at a county department, and I volunteered for them for, I don't know, 3-4 years, and then I got hired and worked 25.
Yeah,
25 plus. But
I'm starting to hear about the PTSD. We've got a program going right now that I'm involved in with the fire department for people with PTSD, and kind of like a peer team that we try to help the younger firefighters understand what.
That's where it's got to start.
Yeah, and trying to let them.
We're already gone. We gotta get it into the old man.
Yes, exactly.
And that's part of my mission and my signs and what I'm doing is to talk about PTSD with first responders, because everybody knows PTSD and it's always related to military.
Right.
Love the military, but there is no light shine on what's happening in the first responder community and how many. What the statistic is that there's 22 military personnel that commit suicide a day. And that's a horrible statistic. The problem is in the first responder world, they don't know. They have no idea. The best statistic they can give you is from 2017, and we're in 2022. Come on.
Yeah.
And so to shine and talk about PTSD as first responders, because I can now. I used to not be able to, but now I can. It's part of my mission, and it's not to, I guess, preach about it. It's to say,
open up awareness.
Absolutely, awareness of it. And I can tell you that through all the podcasts I've been on and magazines and stuff like that, that I've had people from UK, Australia, Canada. Get first responders reaching out and just saying thanks. Thanks for sharing your story. It gives me hope. It's an inspiration, and that's it. That's totally worth it for me right there. If you're suffering, if you're having some experiences like that, flashbacks, whatever, get help. That's the big thing. Get help.
Yeah. I've had since I've retired, 3 friends of mine throughout the years. Commit suicide since I've retired, and they all blow you away, but the one which has been in the last I'd say 3 or 4 months, probably 4 months. Just you wouldn't. And here's the thing about it: there's no rhyme or reason. And this person, you would have never in a million years suspected that they were, were having problems or whatever. They hit it very well, obviously, because it just caught everybody off guard. But yeah, that's what we're doing. The peer team is peer support team is to try
that too.
Yeah, to try to help head this off or whatever. A couple of people I noticed were out there, and they're saying y'all are doing a bad job. Brenda does a much better job looking at their questions and calling them out. So I'm not the one saying that. The people in the chat are saying that y'all are doing a bad job.
I think I answered that. So,
but for those who might not have heard in the beginning, I'll say it again that Brenda's wanting to come back. She is not. Her health is not doing good right now. She is in the hospital. And I'm hoping and praying that she'll get out real soon. I want her back on the show. Trust me. I love Brenda. My wife misses her. And but yeah, she needs to take care of herself, get her health back up and going. And then she will return when she can, as soon as her health gets better. But I've seen some people out there was kind of wondering what was going on. But we're hoping and praying that she'll be back in the very near future, that she gets everything straightened out. So,
do you want to catch up on questions now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we had one out there. Aussie was asking, when you buy barrels, how much are they worth?
How much are they worth? I don't know.
Yeah. How much do they cost you?
How much they cost to buy?
Yeah.
In St. Louis, you can get them, anywhere on Marketplace, and you can get them for generally, right now, they're going for about 70 to 80, maybe $90.
So that's empty? What about full?
Oh. It depends on where it's coming from, right?
That's a lot more thousands of dollars.
I bet a lot more zeros.
I'm expanding my brand, actually. A partner of mine and I just bought a barrel of Old Elk bourbon. And yeah, it's a lot more money.
Yeah. You got to add several zeros to the back of that.
Yeah.
Aussie man also want to know if your router was concaved. I think you went through that a little bit, that it's starting to be concaved from working so many barrels.
I made my own base. I had to make my own base, and just using it, it's starting to almost take that shape on its own. Not a lot, but yeah.
How much did you screw up while you were trying to learn that? There's another question from down under. Well,
like
just
any
the stave materials when you glue them together and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh! If you guys could see what they look like after I glue them together, because when you look at a barrel, it's completely together, right?
Right.
And I take them apart and I put them on the shelf, and then I bring them back to glue up. You'll never get that again. Never. It's always up and down. So I actually I use a electric hand planer to get the main portion of it off, and then I use a belt sander with a 40 grit to shape it back to the barrel.
Okay. It changes that much by taking apart and then putting it back together.
Because they've been wet for so long.
Yeah.
And then when you break them apart and they start drying out, well, you guys know the wood, it just changes.
Wow. Yeah.
Len wanted to know how many signs you can get out of a barrel.
Typically about 4 to 5.
Okay. I think we're caught up.
And that really depends on how, because, when they're in the rick houses, when they put them into the rick houses, of course, there's forklifts involved. And so some of the staves are just tore up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use
Oak's
them.
bad for warping and cracking and stuff anyway, so you can imagine it's got that alcohol in it and all that. So.
Yeah, and you'll see on some of the staves, you'll see when it's from pressure, you can see like fracture through the grain, but it's not deep. And actually, I like that in my sign too, because
how thick are those staves when you first take a barrel apart?
They're about an inch.
Or are they about an inch thick?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Then you got a lot to play with, like you said.
And they're made out of white oak, right?
White oak.
Yeah,
And
white oak.
most barrels, there's a lot of cooperages, but most barrels in the major distilleries comes from right here in St. Louis or in Missouri.
Yeah, and that's
The
one of the
barrels
questions.
or the wood?
The wood. No, well, no,
The
the
wood.
barrels too. The wood and the barrels.
Oh, okay.
One of the biggest cooperage, independent stave cooperage, is down here off of 44 in Missouri.
Oh,
Yeah, for people were wondering where he lives. He lives in North St. Louis, and he's presently fixing to move to South St. Louis.
Correct.
So
do you take the charcoaling off the back of the wood or off the back of
it
the
is a
staves when
mess.
you?
It is
I
a
was going to
mess.
say I can imagine that'd be a real mess to do.
It is. So what I done is taking a grinder with a wire wheel on a pedestal, and I take it outside and just run it through it. And
You ever look at those Arbortech blades that you can put on a grinder? The ones that people use to I know what you're
talking about. It actually goes fast. It goes fast. Just running them through the wire wheel because that charge just flies right off. But it flies off. So
yeah,
there's
it's everywhere.
Charcoal everywhere.
Right, makes a mess.
Absolutely.
Hey, Matt, Jimbo's asking a question out there. Your patterns. Talk a little bit about your patterns.
Yeah, let's go to the cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you come up with a pattern? How do you put it in the cricket and then explain that and then transfer it to the wood? Explain
and
that.
Do you use your own patterns? And I kind of asked if.
So it really depends. It depends on the customer, the client. If say you have a home bar and you want something designed, I'll design it, and I'll take the elements of whatever you want and design that. But when I'm working for like a major distillery or something like that, and I'm using their logos, they provide me the logo, and then sometimes there's a little bit of design work involved, and then I put it in my Cricut design space, pattern it out, cut it out in stencil vinyl. I don't know if any of you guys are using Cricuts for cutting out stencils. I've used every stencil vinyl there is, and the absolute best is Frisco Craft out of Frisco, Texas, and you can get it on Amazon. It is the best product, and it is cheaper. You can get 50 foot for like $16.
What makes it better than other stuff?
Pardon?
What makes it better than the other stuff?
It cuts better. It's a little bit, I would say, maybe a little bit thicker material, and it's just a stronger material. The glue.
What is it called again?
Frisco Craft.
Frisco Craft.
Yep. Frisco Craft stencil vinyl.
And actually, the reason I ask is because we have a Cricut, and I'm looking to do some Aztecing on the hulls of the ships, and I've got to take a stencil, make it like that to where I can actually stencil when I paint it. And I don't know, I'm worried that the regular vinyl is not going to be good enough or strong enough.
Try that Frisco Craft. It is really good.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Does it come in the sheets like the stuff for the Cricut?
A roll.
A roll.
Yep. 50-foot roll. Which if you're using like a good Cricut.
JJE wants to know what kind of router bits do you use?
So the router bits I get from Eric Roden at makeawwoodsign.com, and I promise you won't find them any cheaper. And they are Mana Bits, and he is a wholesaler for them. And I use a profile bit, a carving liner, a spiral upcut, a 1/8" spiral upcut, a V groove, and is that all of them? That's pretty much it. But typically for my signs, I'm using a carving liner. It's just a real thin point because most everything I do is very intricate, so I can't use a big bit.
I will tell y'all that we're gonna start blocking Michelle Marcoux from posting.
Why? Because he's thanking me too much, or
did y'all read what he put out there? He put, we could ask Debbie to replace Brenda. Michelle, that was not funny. I didn't think that was funny at all. When what we're saying is, Matt, is Brenda, when she several years ago when she first started on the show, for some reason, don't ask me why, but she was Debbie. Yeah. I used to call her Debbie all the time. So I finally quit calling her Debbie, and people like Michelle Marcoux out there in the chat has to bring up that the old habit when I used to call her Debbie. So
that's funny.
So did I miss what you actually use to make the designs?
Cricut Design Space.
The designing space. Okay.
That's what I just use
which is what you have to do to make it interface with a Cricut, right? Yeah.
Well,
I had the latest space. Well, yesterday, because I was trying to get that to work or to fix that way. But anyway. So is First Rose Craft a cutter or just a vinyl? It's just a vinyl, right?
It's a vinyl.
Yeah. I see some 6 inches for like and 15 feet long, I guess, for like $15, I guess.
You can send me an email, oldmanbaysigns@gmail.com, and I'll send you the link.
Okay. Really good.
Now the Cricut also cuts more other stuff than vinyl. You can cut paper. You can cut
a lot of things with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can cut card stock. You mean it? Because somebody was saying it is it just for vinyl, and no, no. Yeah, it'll cut tons of stuff. Absolutely. You can make like your own birthday cards and have them 3-dimensional. The Cricut will cut all that stuff out. So
you can get really creative. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
So signs.
I'm making signs.com,
right?
oldmanbaysigns@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
How'd you come up with your name?
It's actually a kind of funny story. Is my last name is Bay, and we went to Grand Cayman, and in Grand Cayman there's a part of the island is called Old Man Bay, and I told my wife, I said, we are going to Old Man Bay. Old Man Bay is going to stand on the Old Man Bay dock. So I got a picture of Old Man Bay standing on the pier at Old Man Bay.
That's pretty good.
Now she likes to say, because I'm a crotchety old man.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
The older I get, yeah. And I get called it more too.
When I first started, I actually took my first logo. I did it was the Old Bay seasoning.
Oh yeah.
And everybody loved it. I had a few shirts made and everybody loved that logo, but they look at it and go, oh, I see what you did there. That kind of thing. And then when I started working for the distilleries, and I was like, I might need to change that.
Yeah, you might run some problems there.
Right.
Yep.
It was actually kind of funny though, because Old Bay seasoning followed me.
Oh, really?
They never said a word about it though. I had somebody
they were waiting.
Send me a message and decided they were going to be my lawyer, I guess, and said, you're in copyright infringement, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I didn't hire a lawyer today.
We have a friend of ours who's a woodworker, and he actually got his name of his YouTube channel, everything is Moon Pie Creations.
Yeah.
And actually, the old Moon Pie, the company contacted him with a lawyer, like a cease and desist kind of thing.
You know what? Yeah. That is, there's a restaurant here in St. Louis, and I don't remember what the name of it was. He might have been toying with a little bit of infringement, and the company came back at him, and they did a cease and desist. And he's like, "Thank you very much. That's the best thing that ever happened to him." Because then he went on social media and blasted them and said, "We're going to do this now," and did great.
Yeah.
Free advertising.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much.
I had a friend of mine that's local within within a few counties of here, and he was doing what's beanbag? What is it?
Yeah.
Cornhole.
The board.
Cornhole.
Huh? Cornhole. Yeah, he was making cornhole boards, and he was putting stuff like Harley Davidson and stuff on, and they nailed his butt. Yes, they nailed him.
See, and I talk about Eric and Roten make a wood sign, and what they were, of course, they're not lawyers, so don't play one on TV. But if you use a sticker, if you bought a sticker, and you put that on there, it's perfectly legal.
Yes,
because
and
you bought the trademark right to that sticker.
Right. What I was wanting, I was thinking about getting into it, but I mean, it's like one of those things. As soon as it comes out, everybody and his brother's making cornhole boards. Yeah. But I went to, I have locally a sign company that does wraps, all different kind of wraps, and they have the rights to use a lot of the NFL logos, like the Cowboys and stuff like that.
That's hard to get.
And yeah, and what I was going to do is buy the wraps from them and just put them on my cornhole boards. Yep. But that way, that would be legal if you purchased it from them and have them.
I've been asked several times. Like I said, I've done work for Jim Beam, Maker's Mark, Penelope, Blackened, and a bunch of distilleries. And I've been asked before, how did you get away with that? I'm like, I'm working for the company. What are they? Yeah, they're giving me their logo to do. Or what are they going to do about it?
I'm like, do they come to you, or do you solicit them? How do you get hired directly by the distillers? That's actually a question off the lens.
How do I get into the distilleries?
Yeah.
Did they contact you, or do you contact them? How does that work out?
They contact me. Yeah, I've
talk about a niche. Yes.
Pardon?
Talk about a niche where you have found a niche that, and your words, by the way, that gets the distilleries calling you, and you're like, let's do this.
I had a distillery come up. I'll tell you two things. If you're putting stuff out on YouTube and you're putting it out on Facebook and you're selling a product and you're making it by hand, and it has so just the bourbon world, right? I was drinking bourbon one night, and me and my buddy, we had a few new bottles, and I was posting pictures of the different types of bourbons we were drinking. And one of them was Penelope. They're out of New Jersey. And it was a really cool photo. Next thing you know, Penelope Bourbon liked that photo. And then they shared that photo. And then the next day he hit me up. The owner of Penelope Company sent me an email and said, hey, I want to get one of your signs made. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Definitely.
So I could ship that one off. Yeah. And then literally today, Barry Brenniger from RD1 Manchester Reserve, he just called. He sent me a message today and ordered 2 signs for their brand.
Wow, very good.
Now Metallica. When I got Metallica, I was in.
Hold it. Wait, let me interrupt. Metallica, as in the group. Metallica?
Yes, the band.
Oh, dude, tell us. Come on. Sorry,
right. So how I got into that one, I went up to. I did 4 signs for Michter's Distillery. And I took them to Chicago for the Chicago Whiskey Fest. And I had my shirt on with my logo on it. And I grabbed one of the signs that I made for them, and I was walking around Whiskey Fest with it. And that free advertising, right? Yeah, and I'm sipping on some bourbon. It was a beautiful day. So walking around or whatever, and people wanted to buy signs. And then the Metallica's, their brand is Blackened. And if you like bourbon, get you a bottle of Blackened. It is really good.
Blackened.
And I met the reps from them, and I've done 2 signs for them, and there might be a lot more coming.
Wow, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, dude, Metallica, that was awesome.
One more thing, you've got a logo admirer out there. Luana Pierce says, "Please tell Matt I think his logo is awesome." So
thank you.
You got a logo admirer out there.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I do. I do like your logo. I looked at it myself, and I was thinking like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I like the way that you did that.
My brother's a graphic artist.
Oh, so cool.
When the whole, you got to switch from the Old Bay can, he came up and did like a little photo thing, and he worked his magic and made me a new logo.
Yeah. Yeah. For those people that, just to clarify what he was talking about, the copyright and everything, he is being hired by the company to make these signs. So therefore there is no copyright infringement because he's being hired by the company.
That's right.
So, yeah, they're basically giving him permission to use their logo, so to speak.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Did you ever do anything for Peerless over in Louisville?
I have not done anything for Peerless.
Okay.
But maybe it'll come.
No, we went there. It's probably been a couple of months ago now, though. But when we were inside their store, I thought I saw like a, engraved out barrel kind of thing like you do.
It's probably a laser or something like that.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what, if you see whiskey barrel signs, and most of the time I've never seen a barrel. I've never seen a barrel done like I do, but they'll use the barrel heads. You'll see barrel head signs.
Yeah.
Or they'll do it on like one stave.
Okay.
Yeah, the barrel heads, that's what you used on the Navy retirement. It was
yeah, that's for actually he's another sign carver.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that's one of the
sign carver.
Videos I did watch, and that turned out really, really nice. I'm amazed
that to this day have not made a sign for myself. I made one with my logo on it, but I've not made like, man, what do I really want? I still haven't done that.
Yeah, the on the Navy one, if y'all haven't watched some of his videos, go watch it. But the really one that I really liked that kind of impressed me was the detail. There's no other way to say it other than scribble, but the detailed scribbling in the center of the sign, like around the eagle and everything, that is amazing how that turned out and how well that looks.
That is a neat process. And the thing about my signs, well, anybody that learned from Eric that does that type of thing, that background, we'll call it. Oh my gosh, how did you do that? That had to take forever. I'm like, oh my gosh, it is so hard. You wouldn't believe how hard it is. It's literally take it and go like this.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, I thought you just get
it and go.
But I understand what you're saying, but it turns out so fantastic. I mean,
it looks
it looks really great.
Yep.
Len's Handcrafted Wood Signs asks, how many hours and how big was the Cass Haley sign?
What was that again?
Len's Handcrafted Wood Signs says, how many hours and how big was the Cass Haley sign?
Oh, Cass Haley. Okay. Yeah. Leonard. Okay. Yeah. So Cass Haley is, to give you a little background on that sign, if you haven't seen that one, actually, that one's on my YouTube as well. So Cass Haley is a singer-songwriter. He was the runner-up in season 2 of America's Got Talent. And I did Big Hope Farm. So if you look at Big Hope, you find the Big Hope Farm. And I did a sign for him, and it was a 4 foot by 4 foot. And the image in the middle was an artist out of Texas, and it's a henna Indian art. And you wouldn't know it, but it's all kinds of different things out of his garden to make that image. And how long did it take me? I think it was almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's a good sized sign too.
Oh, it was huge. And the detail on that thing was incredible.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that 2 weeks is actually, I would have thought it took you longer. But
it was really cool because I talked to him. I've been following him. I love his music. And I've been following him since he was on America's Got Talent. And I sent him a message and said, hey, man, would you like to get a sign made? And he's like, sure. And he told me, he wanted to get one for his farm. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. He sent me the design. I said, all right, send me the design. And I'm like, oh, man, what did I get myself into? And then, but it was cool. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. And then I actually delivered it to him. And he's from Paris, Texas. And I delivered it to him and got to hang out with him and his family and went to dinner with him. And it was really awesome. It was cool.
All right. Before we go, because it's rocking on 10 minutes till 9, and we try to get out of here around 9 o'clock. Not every time, but go ahead and tell everybody we haven't got to that point yet about the thing that you're in, the contest that you're in, and how we can vote. And
wood shop confession.
Yeah, that's afterwards.
After.
So the competition I'm in, and it is the DIY Hero competition. It's hosted by Mark Bowe from Barnyard Builders on the Magnolia Network. Filled out the application, and I was selected for it. I have a chance to win $25,000 in a 2-page ad in Make Magazine. So it's a public vote competition. So I need everybody to go to my website, oldmanbayllc.com. A pop-up will come up and sign up for my newsletter, and I'll be sending out. The voting starts March 8th at 10 a.m. and it ends on the 24th. Like I said, sign up for my newsletter, and I'll send out like voting reminders and competition updates and the link to vote. You get 1 free vote a day. You can purchase votes, and it is actually a fundraiser for American Lung Association.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you'll remind me that and I'll try to keep track of you, but around the 10th, whenever the voting starts, if you kind of like send me a PM or something, we'll be able to. I'll mention it back on the show at that date and time too, and also I'll post some stuff on it on Facebook. But I'm bad, so you're going to have to remind me.
Okay, put it down in the down there, wherever down there is.
Yeah.
I don't see the chat, so
it'll be there. It'll
okay.
Be
the voting link is DIYhero.org/2022/Matthew-Bay. Ooh, that's a lot.
You lost me at DIY.
Hang on a minute. Al, I just dumped it in the chat.
Good.
So maybe you can copy it over. Yeah.
Yep. That's and it, like again, I said it starts on March the 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Going back through.
Got it. Thank you.
Just real quick. I think Donna's wood art said something about her grandsons had a fire, and I guess they lost their home.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Is that what you're saying, Donna? I'm looking back through, but I could have swore that she posted that her grandson had a fire. So yeah.
Vote for Matt.
Yep, everybody vote for Matt. So
I really appreciate it. If you guys and anybody
really
share to all the people. If you're on social media, share to your social medias, email list, anybody you can. Help me win this thing. It'd be amazing. Like I said, we talked about in the beginning. I'm in the midst of a move, and at the new location, I do have a 20 by 50 foot pole barn, but it's literally a metal building with a gravel floor. So
right,
if I can win this thing, it'll certainly make a nice shot.
Yeah, it's a lot of bags of concrete.
Yeah, I'll be hauling a truck.
And Matt'll be over there like doing one of those concrete mixer things.
Well, you guys, I don't know what your guys' shops are like, but out in my shop, I don't have heat. It's not. I work out of a 2-car garage right now. No, I don't have insulation, no heating, no cooling, no dust collection, no nothing, and it makes it really hard to work.
Yeah, it does.
Because when I'm carving something, I can't be doing finishing. If I'm finishing something, I can't be carving or sanding.
I'm impressed with what you have actually accomplished under those circumstances.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Donna's Woodart. Back to that just real quick is her grandson. He was renting, but he lost his house where he lived. So yeah, sorry about that, Donna.
Yeah,
really sorry to hear about that. She said no animals or people were hurt though. In other words, everybody made it out. It was just that he lost the place where he was lived. So that's devastating within itself. I mean, I understand it's things, but when you lose everything, all your belongings, your clothes and everything, it's devastating. I understand. Trust me, I've been to enough homes and fires throughout the years that I saw people lose just everything and they were devastated. So.
She mentioned something in chat that I had never thought about. I don't imagine a lot of people do. She said they were lucky because he had let his birth certificate and social security card were there at her house, so it didn't get burned up. You don't think about losing all that stuff.
No, you don't.
Fire. So it might be a good idea to either have a fire safe or keep it at mama's house.
Yep. Insurance policies.
Oh yeah, that definitely. Yeah, because you lose your wallet. Just if you lost your wallet, it's a pain in the butt nowadays just to get your driver's license and everything replaced.
That's right.
I mean, they want your firstborn child or your second-born grandson in exchange for a driver's license anymore. I mean, here in Florida, we went through a thing where you had to prove. I have had a driver's license since I was 16, and I had to prove who I was to get it renewed. I mean, I had to have birth certificate. I had to have a electric or a water bill. I had to have. I mean, it was just like, really? I've had a driver's license since I was 16 years old, and I got to prove to you who I am.
How'd you get a water bill from the North Pole? I mean, I'm sure they were trying to make sure you were Santa. But...
Yeah, it's called the North Pole Water Company.
Yeah, I guess it must be inside.
Y'all just brought in buckets of water and set them by the fireplace.
Yeah, actually, it's not. Actually, no. They just have a bulldozer that pushes the snow in, and the heat from the wood shop melts it.
Melts, yeah. The elves do that, right? The elves do that. Crafty little elves.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
so Russ,
most people be lost if they lost their phone. Who would think about grabbing that in a fire?
Yeah.
I almost jumped the gun, but is it time now for Woodshop Confessions?
Yes, it is. Matt, we have what we call Woodshop Confession, and that is tell us something that you did in your shop that after you did it, you were like, what the heck did I do? Something so stupid. I give an analogy. One day I was shooting two boards together and they were 3/4 of an inch thick, and I was using 2-inch nails. So the nail went through and got me in the hand. So, but I mean, if it's last week we had a guy that lost his finger on the table saw, and that was kind of a graphic description of what he told us.
Yeah, my brother actually did that.
Yeah. Ouch. So, but. Yeah, tell us something that you've done in your shop that was like you're really.
Well, it kind of goes back to, I think one of you guys asked the question of, have I ever messed up a sign? And I don't think I ever got to that. And I did. I was doing a sign for Old Elk Bourbon out of Fort Collins, Colorado, and their design is very intricate. And I'm just carving away, and then I look down and I'm like, oh no. I was doing it basically backwards from the template, and it still was. It's so hard to explain. I literally had to walk away, look at it, walk away for 2 days, and then it went. It hit me in the head, and I'm like, okay, now I know what I need to do. I thought for sure I was going to have to carve that whole sign over again. I mean, as far as like. I don't know, injuries or anything. Oh gosh, let's not say that.
You got any mistake? You got any mistakes that involve blood or anything like that?
Yeah, we like blood here on the channel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to jinx myself.
All right.
We know you dropped
Now
one
you
of them
watch
heavy
tomorrow. I'll
barrels
go
on
out
your
and I'll
toe.
put that router right in the middle of my hand.
Yeah.
That's why they call it a palm router.
Yeah. If you do, let us know, will you? Okay.
Yeah. Who was it? Oh, Steve Good he didn't have a woodshop confession, but he had a
Copier Tech Confessions. No.
yeah, it was he was cooking, and what he thought was the fire alarm was going off, and so
He said better for cooks.
Yeah, he couldn't get it to stop, and so finally he got so frustrated that he just basically reached up there and snatched the thing off the wall. And then he realized that it wasn't the fire alarm; it was actually what he was trying to get to stop ringing was the doorbell. So yeah, he thought it was the fire alarm, but it was a doorbell. So yeah. But yeah, I've done a few things in my shop that have been rather stupid. It's like, fortunately, I mean, thank God I still have all 10 digits, so it hadn't been that bad. But I've definitely had to have a few stitches here and there over the years.
Yeah, it's my brother. He's a really good woodworker, and he ran his hand across the table saw, and he cut this finger off.
Oh my gosh!
And cut these two in his thumb. And
wow!
I tell you what, after he did that, when I am on a table saw, I am very, very cautious.
Yeah.
It scares me to death.
Yeah,
and
I've over the
that's
years.
Not a bad thing, I don't think.
No, it's not. It's not a bad thing.
Keeps you sharp.
Yep.
Yeah. Over the years, I've done some really stupid stuff on the job site when I was cutting some stuff before. But you're right. As I've gotten older, I've got a little bit more wiser, and I'm really try to be very cautious around that table saw. That's for sure. Yeah. I want to get a saw stop, and I'm going to get one eventually. But not only for the fact that saving your digits, but they're also a very precise saw. So I want a better saw period. So that's what I'm looking at getting as a saw stop in the future.
Well, I guess that could have been a confession.
So
I don't know how to read a tape.
Do what?
I don't know how to read a tape measure. That's a confession.
You don't have to with staves.
I know 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, but like when I'm working with my brother and he says, "Hey, what's that?" And I'm like, it's like 1.5 times with 3 ticks.
So do you like use this? Like this is your inch? Okay, it's a thumb, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, I think you did a woodshop confession by proxy. I think that was kind of a level of woodshop confession. Should we take that? And can you absolve them, Russ?
Yeah. Yeah, I can absolve you. Bless you, and may you not have any bad accidents in the woodshop.
Thank you very much, sir.
There you go.
I'm like you. Once it goes under 1/4 inch, I'm lost. Working with a fellow, and he said you need to cut that. One and 3/30 seconds.
Them are ticks. Them are all ticks.
Screw it.
That's why they invented millimeters.
or a tape that tells you.
No, I used to have a guy that worked for me, and he was kind of a real stickler about a few things, and I used to get him all the time because I would call out like, "All right, I need a piece like 3 9/16 of an inch long."
Well, that's 3.5 and one of them little marks.
Yeah, one of them little marks. Exactly.
But I'm that fellow where you're trying to find the center of a board of a measurement, and old boy's over there doing his math and stuff. I take a piece of paper, lay it down on top of it, fold it over, and fold it over again halfway through. There's the center.
Yeah. For my signs, I have a center finder.
Yes.
There you go. It's a ruler, and it goes off both sides. So all I got to do is look at, kind of line it up. Yep.
Yeah, I finally bought one of them
so
tape
much easier.
measures that tells you the center of it.
Yeah. If you guys are into
harder,
if you're into special tools and you like to support the guys that we usually hang out with Tim Sway's
Oh yeah,
little panda thing. Yeah, I'm gonna get on and buy one today, or tomorrow. But he just came out with a bunch of them.
yeah. Tim Sway makes a lot of. I've got his Sway.
I've got the square. Yeah, that thing's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I use it a lot, and it's stainless steel, so it's one of those tools in my shop that don't actually rust, and I don't have to actually take care of it. So
it's got all kinds of stuff on it too.
Do you guys happen to follow Jonathan Katz Moses?
Yeah.
No.
He's got his he's starting to sell all his tools, and he only sells what he uses. You know, if it's quality to him, that's what he's going to sell in his store. What a great guy that is too. He did a write up on me on his blog, and what a great guy.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's like, he called what he say? I'm a walking, talking CNC machine.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. I appreciate it. We've had several people. There's been people. Chav's been over there on Twitch. Actually, Frenzy Wicked Truth has been over there on Twitch watching us.
Frenzy.
Midnight Scroller is over there on Facebook watching us.
Hey,
We've had a couple other. I think it was Donna's Wood or somebody over there was on Facebook watching us too. So, but Frenzy Wicked Truth was over there on Twitch along with Chav. So I appreciate y'all watching us on the other formats. Thank you very much. And yeah, like I said, once again about Brenda, she's not doing very good. She's in the hospital. She's still private messaging the group, us as a whole, telling us how she's doing. So we do have communication with her, and but yeah, she could use a prayer for sure, because she's having some health issues right now. And like I said, hopefully, from what she's telling us, in the next 2 to 3 days, she's supposed to be able to be released and head home, and she can do whatever she needs to have done as an outpatient. So
unless she punches out the doctor, and then he may keep her.
No, it's the nurse.
Yeah.
Or the nurse.
Keep her in jail.
Just a little short, but everybody knows she was having some problems with a nurse, and I pity the nurse.
It's going to be a neat new series of episodes. It's Debbie needs bail money at the hospital or something. Watch.
But yeah, hopefully we can get her back on here. I miss Brenda being on here. My wife said she misses her because she keeps me in line. So, but I miss her. Do what?
Or Debbie.
Hard.
Yeah, or Debbie. Yeah, or Debbie. Either one of them have to keep me in line. So yeah. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. I appreciate everybody watching. You, thank you, Jim and Paul and Al and Donald and Dixon for all being here. And again, thank you, Matt from Old Bay, for being our guest tonight.
Yeah,
Russ,
good
thanks
show.
for having me. I appreciate it, man. You guys
You're
can all
welcome.
find me on social media. I'm on everything: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all of them. Old Man Bay Signs, and my YouTube channel is Old Man Bay Signs.
Great. All right, guys, listen. If you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, you're just too darn busy or you're lazy. So get off your butt and get out in the shop and make some sawdust. Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Thank you for watching, and God bless. God bless you all.
Good night, everyone.
You have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah.
And what you should say, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
another
here.
person we're missing. We're missing, by the way, just before we get off here, Chris Ahern has got his toes in the water, his butt in the sand, and a beer in his hand. So he's he's having a good time at some music festival, whatever, at the beach. So he's not here
He's
tonight.
doing good tonight, but I bet he's gonna be sick tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
Don't forget to go vote.
Yeah. Don't forget to
vote.
vote.
Definitely